What's up, YouTube? It's Jeff Tuffner in the Glorious Podcast with my Monday Night Raw review for the October 23rd, 2017 edition. All the fallout from the TLC pay-per-view, and we get to see an invasion angle. We saw one last year, but this year's was 100 times more better in my opinion. I just loved how the Smackdown roster just went in there, and they went full heel. It didn't matter who they were. Even the biggest faces over on SmackDown just went full heel for this segment here. Cleaned house, went into the locker room, just destroyed everybody. I love it. It builds up Survivor Series. It helps the show. I love it. It was so much better than last year, though. I like last year's too, but I think this year they just went to that next level. And I mean, we're probably gonna see, vice versa tomorrow night. Raw invades SmackDown, something like that. So I mean, I love the way it ended. I mean, I wasn't even excited for Raw tonight. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was kind of like, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm like, I had no expectations. I was expecting kind of a shitty show tonight, to be honest with you. But I expected to be falling asleep through this one, barely keeping my eyes open. But I somehow found a way to get through the entire show, and I actually thought overall it was a pretty decent night tonight. It was a pretty decent night. I won't lie. There were things I didn't like Kane defeating Finn Balor. That was awful. I don't know why they're having Kane pick up wins here toward the end of 2017 over, the guys who are supposed to be the top of the company right now, like Finn Balor. That was a stupid decision. It was clean win. They made Finn Balor look like a jobber. They made Finn Balor look like a jobber to Kane. So I mean, and Kane's probably gonna disappear again sooner than later. He'll probably go away, come back, just to put over Braun Strowman in a match at a future pay-per-view or something like that. Probably at the Survivor Series pay-per-view. Like I said, I love the invasion angle at the end. That was a really good angle. There were some other things throughout the show. It was just a smooth night, if that's how you want to put it. Just a smooth night. It wasn't crazy. It wasn't off the charts like, best Raw ever or whatever, but it didn't, shit the bed like it usually does. I thought a show after a pay-per-view, it was pretty good. And it probably will get very good viewership, I think, with it being after a pay-per-view. And Lesnar was on the show, too. So, when Lesnar's on the show, that helps the ratings. And then, obviously, best rated shows are usually the pay-per-view fallout ones because everybody's tuning in to see what happened after the pay-per-view, and it was a pretty good pay-per-view last night too, so that all adds to it. And then they probably tuned in, got a pretty good show, and then that's going to help. They'll get viewers next week too. But anyway, we learned a bunch of Survivor Series matches, pretty much everything we expected here. Nothing of the out of the ordinary here. Alexa Bliss versus Natalya, each women's champion. The U.S. champion, Baron Corbin taking on The Miz, the Intercontinental champion. I'm not really too excited for either of them matches, to be honest with you. At least not right now. I mean, maybe they'll be good or whatever, but the idea of the match just isn't really intriguing to me. But an intriguing match that they did announce was The Shield, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins taking on the Usos, the tag team champs. I think they've been teasing this match for a while. I think they've been going all the way back to before SummerSlam or something. They've been teasing this, and it's you knew it would come. You knew it was coming to Survivor Series. And, now they announce it tonight, confirm it. So I'm really looking forward to that match. That one should be a classic at Survivor Series. And then, obviously, Jinder Mahal versus Brock Lesnar is confirmed. I mean, I was reading a rumor before Raw that I just hope doesn't come true. But I heard a rumor that this match would happen. And the referee for this match would be John Cena. I hope that is not true. If that is true, that's it. I mean, and they're going to try to put this on last. It will be just like last year all over again. There will be a pretty good show. And then they'll end up main eventing with Jinder Mahal versus Brock Lesnar with Cena as the referee or something. Complete nightmare scenario there. And what the hell? Kurt Angle calls Jinder Mahal in the beginning of the show. I was laughing my ass off at that. That was hilarious. Jinder Mahal. Anyway, what else happened here on the show? Kane defeats Finn Balor. Like I said, that was awful. They spent way too much time. The first hour of the show, they got nothing in. There was a match. Why was AJ Styles? I mean, look, AJ Styles showed up tonight. All right, I love AJ Styles. I was happy to see AJ Styles tonight on Raw, but the whole brand, like I said, I've stressed this more than enough. It takes away from the whole brand split thing when you have guys from the other brand just showing up on Raw out of nowhere like that. I mean, granted, the whole entire SmackDown roster ended up showing up later in the night, but that was to build the pay-per-view, the Survivor Series pay-per-view and all. So that's understandable, but just having Styles show up like that, it just felt like I was, back in old times again. There wasn't even the brands, just guys showed up wherever they felt like. But I don't know. I mean, it was cool to see them, though. Don't get me wrong. But like I said, that match was a pretty decent match. It opened the show. Good opening to the show for a first match. I think it went a little too long. They had that match, and then they had Kane come out. Kane cuts a promo. And then he obviously ends up in a match with Finn Balor that I've already said. That was an awful. That was one of the parts of the night I didn't like. And then we have Shane McMahon backstage with Kurt Angle. It was rumored that Shane would be there, so it wasn't much of a surprise that he showed up. And then obviously we know what that led to, the whole invasion angle at the end of the show. Asuka and Emma had a rematch. This was rumored to happen. I was not in favor of them having this rematch. I thought the match last night at TLC was really good. Their match at TLC was really good. Asuka and Emma, to be honest with you, Finn Balor versus AJ Styles was easily the match of the night last night. But a real close number 2, believe it or not, was Asuka and Emma, a match that a lot of people predicted would be a squash match, but it actually turned out to be a really good back and forth match. So I didn't like the idea of having a rematch tonight, but the rematch wasn't bad. I thought maybe tonight what would happen is they would do out there and then they'd have a squash match tonight instead. But they actually kind of, they had another solid match, nothing close to what they had the night before, obviously, but Asuka picks up the win once again. So we got Alexa Bliss and Mickie James segment again. So it looks like that feud's going to further into the pay-per-view. Well, not really. I mean, they really aren't doing title matches at the pay-per-views. I don't know what the hell is going on here. It's kind of confusing how they're doing it. I guess it's all going to come down to them actually having a team together on Team Raw. So, I mean, they haven't officially announced the teams yet. We were supposed to find out the Raw team, but then we never found out because, the whole angle at the end, which I don't mind one bit, but, I mean, I don't know if we are going to expect any surprises on the teams or whatever. I'm sure we'll find out more tomorrow on SmackDown, maybe on who's the teams on the SmackDown side of things, because they said there's going to be a women's match, elimination 5-on-5, and a men's match. And then, all the other matches that they did announce. No big tag match last year. Like, we had like a 10-on-10 tag match. That was too hectic, so I'm actually happy they didn't bring that back. Alicia Fox is the captain of the Raw women's team, which was probably the last person I'd expect to be the captain of the team. I thought it would obviously be either Sasha or Bayley, but they went with Alicia Fox, and you know what? I'm completely behind it. I have no problem with it because Alicia Fox has actually been entertaining over the past few weeks, at least in my opinion. And I think a lot of people, I know this on Twitter, a lot of people have liked what they've seen on Alicia Fox. I mean, I know we've seen this in past years where she kind of plays that like crazy character and all, but I don't know. I find it actually entertaining, believe it or not. Like, I actually like what I'm seeing, and I guess WWE likes what they're seeing too because they obviously gave her, the captain spot of the entire Raw women's team at the Survivor Series pay-per-view. So I have no problem with it, at least right now. Alicia Fox, she's been doing good lately, so I'm okay with it. Like I said, Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman show up, basically confirming the match with Jinder Mahal. And another thing I gotta bring up, they gotta bring back pyros. They have to bring back pyros, guys. I can't take it. Like, Kane, now you have Kane's back. Kane's entrance without the pyro is the most it's disturbing. It's very disturbing. They try to throw in this fake ass pyro where it's coming through like the audio or whatever. It's not an actual pyro or whatever. It's just so fake. And then Brock Lesnar's when he comes out and does the thing on the stage there right before he goes down the ramp, and it just, you expect to see the pyro and the fireworks go off everywhere. Nothing happens. It's just there's certain guys you have to have the pyro for. Like, there's some that's understandable you could take it away for, but Brock Lesnar and Kane, you need to have the pyro for them. Hopefully they bring it back, but I doubt it. I mean, we all thought maybe we'd see them bring it back for SummerSlam a few months back. Didn't do it then, so I doubt they'll even do it at Survivor Series. They're trying to save every last dollar they can at this point because they wasted so much money on that damn WrestleMania stage. I mean, they put in like way too. I mean, that was one of the best stages I've ever seen, the WrestleMania stage. But man, they put in a lot of money on that. That's probably why they're in such a hole right now with financially over at WWE, is because of that stage they used at WrestleMania. We get another TLC rematch, Jason Jordan and Elias. That ends in DQ. Jason Jordan picks up the win. Elias smashes the guitar over his head. I mean, I like what I'm seeing out of Elias. Not as much Jason Jordan, at least the character. I don't know what they're trying to do with him now. They're trying to play like this just weird babyface character. But Elias has actually worked out. It's weird how Elias has worked out. I never really mentioned this, but like, Elias came up from NXT. It wasn't even like a significant call up. He wasn't like that guy everybody was, going crazy over when he got called up. It wasn't like, Elias Sampson's coming up to the main roster. No, I didn't see anybody be like, when's he coming up or whatever. He just showed up and it was like, remember when he first came up, he was like going around in the crowd with the guitar there for the first like month or so, and then he finally made an appearance. He's just been like a steady, good mid-carder on Monday Night Raw ever since he's come up from NXT. And it's weird too because he actually really wasn't successful in NXT, believe it or not. That's why everybody had doubts for him coming up to the main roster. We all thought like, it wasn't going to work out. because he really didn't do much in NXT. It's going to be only worse when he comes to the main roster because that's the case with usually everyone who comes over from NXT. But with him, it actually was the complete opposite. He was bad in NXT. I mean, not bad, I'd say, but, not the best compared to others. But he came to the main roster. He has been excellent since coming up to Monday Night Raw. He deserves a title shot, soon. The Intercontinental title. I mean, they're not going to do it against The Miz, obviously, because they're both heels. But I don't know. I think they like the title on The Miz, so I don't see them taking it off anytime soon. And especially with this, the next pay-per-view, there being no title matches. So, I mean, well, that will be down the road. And I don't think Raw does not have another pay-per-view, a sole pay-per-view. I mean, they have Survivor Series, but, a single branded pay-per-view just for Raw until after the Royal Rumble is the next, single branded Raw pay-per-view. So, and there's a Smackdown pay-per-view in December, Clash of Champions, and I think that's it, unless they have another one planned. I don't know. That wouldn't even be bad. I don't think they need to bring another one. They've had enough pay-per-views. It's like every 2 weeks at this point. Slow down with the pay-per-views heading into WrestleMania. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into it. With the whole pay-per-views again. Even though the October pay-per-views, Hell in a Cell was good, and so was TLC, surprisingly. So we're on a roll here. 2 straight pay-per-views of actual pretty good pay-per-views. What else here happened on Raw? I think I've covered mostly everything. I mean, there was the tag match in the beginning of the show that went way too long. It was a smooth night though, guys. I mean, it felt quick because, like I said, I feel like there's not much to talk about, and it's exactly why, because they spent an hour on a promo to open the show with Kurt Angle, and then that led to the big tag match, the 3-on-3 tag match, and then Kane versus Finn Balor. By the time that was all said and done with, it was 9:15, 9:10 or whatever. And then there was just a couple other matches they had, a couple other promos, and before you know it, show was over. So I mean, maybe it's because maybe they were able to spread it out in a way to where that's why it was actually a good show or whatever. Because it just, I don't know. I mean, maybe they usually try to get way too much on or whatever. I only know there was a cruiserweight match too. I forgot about that. It was 5-on-5, I think it was, or whatever, cruiserweights or whatever. So and then they got a cruiserweight cruiserweight title match they announced tomorrow night between Kalisto and Enzo. They're probably just going to throw the title back on Kalisto because that title's become a hot potato ever since Neville's left the company. I don't even care. I don't even plan on watching 205 Live. I've watched 205 Live 2 times, 3 times since it actually became a thing. So, I mean, I don't even know. I mean, they don't even come out with viewership numbers for that show or anything anymore. I don't even think they bother with it. I'm surprised they still do it, to be honest with you. I thought that maybe they would do it before SmackDown or whatever, but to get people to be there for it, that would be a strategy. But then the problem is they wouldn't air it before SmackDown. I don't know. That show's a whole mess. But Monday Night Raw, fallout from TLC, pretty good. I like what I'm seeing going in the Survivor Series so far. Hopefully this can continue. There's 3 more Raws, I think it is. I was just looking. They're going over England and everything, over into the UK, Europe, and everything for all those shows for a week or two in 2 weeks. I think next week they're in Baltimore, and then they're in Manchester, and then I forget where another one is, but then that will be the go home show, I'm pretty sure, and then Survivor Series. So I'm sure Survivor Series will be here before we know it. Build so far is so far so good. I mean, like I said, the matches aren't much of excitement, but I mean, obviously the big match, I guess. I mean, the big match is actually, I mean, in their minds probably Brock Lesnar and Jinder Mahal, which I could give 2 shits about that match, but I mean, I'm more excited to watch the 5-on-5 elimination matches. I don't know why, but I just think about what I saw last year at Survivor Series out of that 5-on-5 elimination men's match. That match was great. That was match of the year for me, at least. One of the matches of the year, not the match of the year, but it was definitely in my top 10 matches of the year last year. So if we can get something like that again this year, and like I said, the invasion angle. I'm curious to see if we'll see another run by Raw, maybe tomorrow night on SmackDown, something like that again. I mean, they did it a bunch of times last year, so we'll probably see it again. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow night, a few weeks from now. We'll see what happens. I don't know. So far, a good week here in WWE. See if SmackDown's good tomorrow. We get 3 straight shows this week. Probably not. Every week that, you can't just get 3 straight. You get the pay-per-view, it's good. Raw, it's good. SmackDown will probably be awful, but I don't know. Maybe it will make up for that awful show they had last week. But that's it basically for Raw here, guys. Let me know what you guys saw the show down in the comments below. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with my SmackDown live review right here on the Glorious Podcast.